Well, hello there, and this is Auntie, and I am here to do an episode of Auntie Say It Isn't So, Say It Isn't So. Geoffrey from 90 Day Fiance has been sentenced to 18 plus years in prison without the possibility of parole or early release. I would say that we had a victory today. What do y'all think? Y'all think we had a victory? Y'all ready to talk about it? Let's get started.
Everybody needs a sweet old auntie. Everybody needs
with a whoop whoop and a boop boop
auntie
boop.
that everybody needs.
You can make this up. Now you know that these are some crazy motherfuckers.
Everybody needs a sweet old auntie.
So why even fuckers?
Aunties and lives, sweet old auntie. Aunties and ways. Are you okay? Are you okay?
Well, welcome back, everybody, and this is Auntie. If this is your first time being here, please like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. And to all of my new subscribers, thank you all so much for joining the family. To all of my nieces and nephews and my members who have been here with me for the long haul, thank you all so much for your continued support. It looks like we have a new member in the house. Yes, we do. Thank you so much, Alexander Blaze, for becoming a member. Welcome to the family. You all please shout out Alexander Blaze for the membership. Welcome, 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 welcome. We're going to be talking about a very sensitive subject, and I am asking everyone to be on your best behavior in the comment section. There are certain words that if you use them, my handy dandy, always faithful moderators will be deleting your comments. So I'm asking that everyone be very respectful in the comment. Please feel free to talk freely, but just certain words we can't use in the comment section. So I'm letting you all know that now before you get offended and say, why did my comment get removed? It is because you have said a word that will get this video flagged. And that is the last thing that we want to do while talking about something very controversial. For all of you all who are looking for my 600-pound life review, that will be done on tomorrow. Please be patient as I make decisions and changes in channel material. Okay, thank you. Love you all. So today was the day for the sentencing for Geoffrey Paschel and Paschel or Paschel or whatever the hell, honey, he in jail. Okay, let's just say Geoffrey, he's in jail. And it was very interesting, if I must say so myself. This has been long awaited. Many of us had watched the trial for Geoffrey, and we have been watching this roller coaster ride for some time. A lot of people were on different sides of the spectrum. Either they, were enamored with this man and following him and thinking he's fine and sexy and hot and all of that, and that he was innocent. While there was others like me who said to themselves, as a victim myself of a DV, that this woman is telling the truth. Well, Geoffrey was offered a plea deal, right? That if he would just agree to certain charges, that, he would not have any jail time. Geoffrey basically told Kristen to go to hell, that he was going to go to trial. Well, that was the best decision that he ever made for other women, in my opinion, because he is now off them streets. Okay. He has indeed been found guilty. This is no longer an accusation. This is no longer, did he do it? Is he guilty or innocent? He has been convicted by a jury of his peers for this crime. So it's not a did he do it? Did he not do it? None of that's relevant. He's been found guilty. And so today, on the birthday actually of his deceased son, I think it was the third birthday of his deceased son, justice was served. Karma was handed out. And I truly believe that the Lord looked down and said, you're not going to get away with the things that you thought that you were going to get away with. It is not something that I've overlooked, that today was his son's birthday. Let that sink. Could it have been a heavenly intervention? Okay, I'm gonna just let that sit right there. So I have a couple of articles and a video that I'm going to be showing you for all of you all who missed the trial. We're going to be looking at certain aspects of it. I'm going to allow you all to see Geoffrey plead to the court, and then we're going to be looking at I'm going to be reading an article from, just one second. That article is coming to us from In Touch Weekly. We're going to be talking about that as well. So without further ado, let's get into it. So in an article in Touch Weekly, they discussed how many wives did Geoffrey have. And I thought that was relevant because these crimes have been committed against women. Today, Geoffrey's ex-wife got on the stand, and she discussed her relationship with him, and her name was Allison Moon. She was married to Geoffrey, I believe she said, for like 8 years or whatever. And so it says that 90-day fiance alum Geoffrey will be spending the next 18 years in prison without the possibility of parole after being found guilty on aggravated kidnapping, domestic violence, and interference with an emergency call. The charges stem from an incident involving his ex-fiancée, Kristen Wilson, in June of 2019, leaving fans curious about his dating history and his family life. And so what they've done for us is they've broken it down. So the question that they asked is, how many times has Geoffrey been married? It says he has reportedly been married 4 times, including his most recent marriage to estranged wife Brittany, according to Starcasm. In Touch was unable to confirm if the divorce is still pending as of 2022. Another one of his ex-wives was Allison Moon, with whom he shares a son. She took the stand to testify against him during his sentencing on today. As for Wilson, they never wed, but during the assault incident in June, Geoffrey and Wilson were engaged and had been for months. He has 3 children, I believe. He has a father of 4, and that's Paxton, who's 23, Dakota, 21, Caven, and baby Chasm, the last one who tragically died in March of 2018 after suffering a seizure. They mentioned in this article that February 3rd marks the day that their young son went home to be with the Lord. he would have been 3 years old today. Um, and I, again, really believe that Hunty, that was, it's just not a coincidence. Now, as we know, this was supposed to, he was supposed to be sentenced earlier, and they did a postponement on it, right? And so after the postponement, and that was to look at some documentation, right? Some discovery, because they wanted him to be found as a second, I think. Okay. Okay, can you see the orange and the stripes? Thank you so much, Flobby Bobby, for the $2.99 super chat. Auntie's wearing the same color Jeff gonna be wearing. And the stripes. Oh, don't sleep on it. Don't sleep on it. This was strategic. Okay. Y'all see the stripes? Okay. Get with it, okay? Thank you for recognizing. Okay. So the young today, during the sentence hearing, um, Krista had an opportunity to talk and to be cross examined again. And this was just for the purpose of helping the judge to make a decision on whether or not he should get the minimum sentence, which was 12 years, or the max at 20 years. And so all of this is just, to help the judge make a decision, because the jury had already rendered the decision, but it was the judge's job to, okay, wait a minute. It was the jury's job to convict and the judge's job to do sentencing. Okay. Um, that's just how the legal system is set up. So, of course, our prosecuting attorney dropped a couple of balls again. But this judge, knowing how important this case was and realizing that there is an appeal process, wanted to make sure that the information that he had or did not have was verified and solidified. Now, one of the mistakes that she made was that she was supposed to enter into the discovery documents, right? She was supposed to provide information about his level of, being a felon, whether he was a class 1 or class 2. The information that she needed in order to establish that she didn't have with her. She wanted to see, Geoffrey had been convicted, I believe, on federal charges of distributing cocaine. Well, she needed to find out what the weight of it was. When she went to go and get that information, she found out that the case was sealed. Geoffrey's lawyer indicated that they said that they didn't want it unsealed. And that was strategic because she needed the weight in order to be able to establish the level of the felony, right? I mean, we're not going to go into all of that legal stuff. I'm just going to talk like really high level. Okay, y'all, we're not going to go all the way down. And so she was not able to establish that. Also, she did not provide the information to them in a timely manner, nor did she really make sure that she had submitted what she would be using as exhibits in the case. And so, because the two of them argued back and forth about this, the judge decided to recess and go back in chambers and to find out the information that he needed. We could tell that she's a rookie, right? But I'm gonna tell you right now, I really believe that there are divine forces that has been working on her behalf for a long time. because girlfriend be botching stuff, in my opinion, allegedly. And I'm just like, get your stuff together. Like, read all the rules. If you need to, I know that, she's for the state, I believe. But you need to hire some interns or something, honey, so that the research that you need to do on this, okay, you need to do. So the testimonies of the ex-wife and Kristen were entered into play, and there was a videotape that was entered into play. This videotape was it was audio. We did not see anything that the prosecutor thought that she needed to play for the judge. I really think that this was one of the key points for him to make a decision about who Geoffrey was. There was there's one thing to, have him convicted of the crime and all of that, but this judge needed to make a decision when doing this sentencing of what kind of person he was and whether or not he was a risk or anything like that. There's a lot that goes into a lot goes into making that decision on behalf of a judge. Well, the prosecuting attorney played a tape of Geoffrey having a visit at the jail with his mom. During that taping, it appears that Geoffrey was trying to get his mother to get his child to go and pay a visit to one of these women to get her to testify on his behalf. The judge called the act that he did absolutely disgusting. Not only should he have not been talking to anybody, any woman that he's ever put his hand on or had a relationship with, but he absolutely should not have been using his son. And so I'm going to play some of that and let you all hear some of what was going on, and then we're going to unpack it, break it down, talk about it. Okay, so let me bring that up. The first thing that we're going to be hearing is Geoffrey with his plea to the court. Let me blow this up and let's play.
Criminal case before a court imposes a sentence in the state of Tennessee, the defendant is given an opportunity to address the court. It's called allocution. This is your opportunity to address the court if you would like to do so at this time.
We have just a moment?
Yes.
Your Honor, Mr. Paschel would like to briefly address.
He was just speaking to his client about the opportunity for allocution.
Thank you for
I'm a 44-year-old man. I have a lot of love left in me, a lot of hope. I have dreams still. I have a beautiful family. Beautiful friends. I'm a dad. We got children out there. I'm gonna be a grandfather here in May. I'm an uncle, I'm a nephew, I'm a son, I'm a grandson. I respect Miss Wilson Chapman. I respect Miss Moon. Miss Moon is the mother of my child. She's right, I haven't seen him in 5 years. I wish nothing but the best for them. Although there is a different circumstance of events that occurred, I still respect them. And I wish nothing but the best for them. As far as punishment, I'm punished and broken. There, I can rehab. Rehabilitation is a form of punishment, and I want to be better no matter what. I do have faults, but I want to be better. I want to be the best at what I can be. And my focus is on doing that, whether it be via my family or just be a better person all the way around. As you hopefully read in those letters, people have a common theme in that I go out of my way to help people. I don't need anything. I don't want anything. It just gives me that internal satisfaction to help people. That's my reward. So I ask that you have mercy on me. You have mercy on my family, my kids, and show me leniency in the sentencing so I can be a productive member of society and be back in their lives. Thank you.
Thanks, sir. The court is called upon to impose a sentence here.
Here's the thing about it. He indicated that rehab is punishment. No, it's not. Rehab isn't punishment. Rehab is getting your life together, changing. If I get in a car accident and I go to a hospital to be rehabilitated, it's bringing me back to whole. It's not punishment. Okay? It's not. But he sees it as if they are punishing him. You've been convicted of a crime. He says that he is broken. But yet and still, he refuses to apologize. Now, the reason that people are speculating that he is not apologizing is because by apologizing, it is an admission of guilt. Now, as we know, his plea was not guilty. And so in order for him to be able to appeal this case, okay, he can't apologize in his eyesight, but he can show remorse. The first thing that Geoffrey wants to do is point out that he has a family. But did you think about that family when you were dragging Kristen up and down those steps? Did you think about that when you went to your ex-wife's house, according to her testimony? He showed up, now allegedly, he showed up at his ex-wife's parents' home in Florida, unannounced, snuck in through a back door, and absolutely told her what she was going to do and what she wasn't going to do. This man is the bottom of the cotton freaking barrel, in my opinion. You can see remorse in a person's eyes. You can hear it in their voice. It's almost tangible. And in my opinion, Geoffrey wasn't remorseful for anything that he said or did. He has been an actor and knows how to sway and persuade and manipulate and confuse and convince people. But it didn't happen with this judge. And so now we're about to hear the sentence that the judge has opposed on Geoffrey. Let me click this and share this screen with you all again. Let's go. So I believe that this is in parts, okay? So I'm not really sure, but I think it is. So let's see.
Here that is consistent with the purposes and principles of the Tennessee Sentencing Reform Act. And there are mandatory considerations that I must look at when imposing this sentence, set forth 4035-210B. Of course, I've carefully considered the evidence from the sentencing hearing, which included the pre-sentencing report. I've listened carefully to the argument of counsel. Of course, I'm very familiar with the nature and characteristics of the criminal conduct of which Mr. Paschel has been convicted in this case. He is allocated, which I will consider. And I'm also considering the results of his validated risk and needs assessment set forth in the PSI, indicating that he is a moderate risk with high needs in the mental health domain.
Geoffrey just said, I'm punished and broken to the judge. I can be rehabbed. I want to be better. That's my focus. You are not going to miss any of this judge's decision. That's up next when we come back.
So I'm going to remove that temporarily from the screen. I'm going to fast forward through it so that you all will be able to hear it. I've seen someone ask in the comment section, was Varya there? Absolutely. She was there. But we have to understand that Varya has a goal and agenda, in my opinion. And that agenda is to be in the United States, bitch, living her best life. So let me fast forward this, you all, so that we can get back to the get back and the get down with the get down. Okay, let's go back. We're going to now hear from the judge. So I'm going to add it back to the stream and hit play.
As I said, Mr. Paschel, like every human being, has good aspects, and he has some aspects here that we have seen that have been exposed that are very dark and are really evil. I know that I ruled that the letters of support are not properly in the record. I stand by that ruling. But I'm not surprised that Mr. Paschel be able to convince friends, family, fellow citizens that he's a good guy, that he's an upstanding citizen. He's a handsome guy, he's charismatic, he has a job. He's also very image conscious. I'm not surprised at all that he projects an image outwardly to the world that he is this type of person. What we have seen here and what has been exposed in this trial is that what is going on behind closed doors is much different than the image that Mr. Paschel projects out to the rest of the world. As I've stated, this behavior towards these women is sick, it is sadistic, it goes beyond a desire to inflict physical harm on these women. It speaks of a deep psychological issue, I think, that Mr. Paschel has a desire to inflict as much emotional damage to these women as possible. The fact that he traveled to the state of Florida, sneaking in the back door of Miss Moon's parents' home uninvited, engaged in aggressive sexual behavior following that intrusion. I think the record shows here that Mr. Paschel is manipulative, that he thinks, hey, just let me talk my way out of this. He thinks he can do that. I'm deeply concerned that he, after being found guilty, while in custody, was attempting to have a third party go see Ms. Chapman, again, unsolicited, at her home, in direct contravention of any order that this court has given him regarding contacting the victim in this case. And not only that, he was willing to use his children as a pawn in this illicit scheme to try to convince Ms. Chapman to come in here and speak on his behalf. That's disgusting, and he should be disgusted by that behavior. This court is. Mr. Paschel, sir, if you please stand. Geoffrey M. Paschel, in docket 116806, the jury having found you guilty in count 1 of aggravated kidnapping in Class B felony. For the reasons stated, the court finds that the appropriate sentence in this case is 18 years to serve. Your Range 2 offender, this of course will be a 100% service rate. As to the misdemeanor counts in 2 and 3, the appropriate sentence in those will be 11 months, 29 days to serve. Those will run concurrently with the aggravated kidnapping in count 1. The pleas will be incorporated into the judgment, or pardon me, the jury's verdict will be incorporated into the judgment, and judgment will enter at this time. The cost, of course, will be assessed in this case, and judgment orders will follow. Can we go ahead and pick a motion for new trial date?
Yes.
I'll go a little ways out past the 30 days. Could we set it on
18 years without the possibility of parole? Some say that may not be enough time. He should have gotten more. Some people believe it's too much time. I think it's right on time. I think that justice has been served. And I think that this judge saw him for who he really was. Not his representative, not the actor, not a father, not a son, not a brother, and not a lover, not an actor or anything like that. He saw him as sick and sadistic. He saw him as disgusting and his acts as disgusting. He saw him as a manipulator and someone who felt so entitled and had done this so many times to allegedly so many women. He thought that he could talk his way out of it. But unfortunately for him, karma knows everybody's address. And she damn sure didn't forget Geoffrey's. This mofo was so arrogant and pompous and such a manipulator, such a complete and total asshole, that he didn't even think that he needed to take a plea deal. Because there were so many people that he had convinced that he didn't do this to her. See, we always want to blame the victim. Now, Varya took to Instagram. And made a TikTok. See, this is how stupid she is. She made a TikTok showing different suits that she was going to take down to the court building for Geoffrey. I made an Instagram post. And I'm going to share it with you real quick. pull it up. I don't know why I didn't pull it up earlier, y'all. I apologize for that. Let me pull it up. The post that I put up is this one. This is a picture of Geoffrey in court with Varya with the red mask on. And I said, dumb Varya sitting in Geoffrey's sentencing hearing. Do you know that she was so stupid that she actually picked out a suit for him? Dummy. Just 1 second. The prison has already picked out his outfit for at least the next 12 years. He doesn't get a chance to be in a suit. He gets a hot cot, a hot pot, a cot, and a shave. And I'm sure that there's a couple of prisoners in there that's waiting for him to drop that soap, if he hasn't already been laundered. Okay. This woman, in my opinion, has an agenda. And that agenda is to stay here in the United States. So let's see what happens to her, because he's not married to her. He's still married to the other wife. So whatever her dreams and aspirations and goals are, we'll just have to watch and see. But I believe that she made another post and she's not taking this serious. And it may just be because maybe she's not from this country. I don't know. But she is absolutely not taking this serious. I think it popped up on my feed. Varya's statement. So this is a picture of her with a cake. It has a number 5 on it. And she's allegedly looking up to heaven. This is the weirdest fucking woman I've ever met. Her statement says, sweet baby boy, Chasm. She doesn't know him. Would have celebrated his 5th birthday today. Thank you, Jersey Christina, for this wonderful cake. He and his dad would absolutely love it. Unfortunately, neither of them got to taste it. To be honest, we didn't expect much from this sentencing. 18 years. All right, we passed the bottom. That means there's only one way up. The grounds for the appeal became even stronger. Meanwhile, the sky is still crying. I believe it's because one little angel is very upset. I believe that angel, Varya, got exactly what that angel wanted. I believe that the raindrops is everybody in heaven rejoicing. It's just my opinion. Absolutely is cringeworthy. It is absolutely cringeworthy. Now, Soap Dirt said that he would have been 3. She says he would have been 5. But let me tell you something. This girl needs a lot of prayer because she's out of touch. However, people said in my comments that there was so much support for Geoffrey. And even serial killers got love. Okay, what you say, honey? Thank you so much, Midwife Crystal, for the $4.99 super chat. It's the delusions for me, Varya. Just go back to Russia and get a therapist. He's not worth the wait. Maybe for her. It may be better for her from where she's coming from. But you're absolutely right. He's not worth it. I said this was sweet justice, sweet victory. I had to come out here and talk about it. Now, of course, that they're going to be starting the appeal. I believe it's sometime in April. Good luck, Geoffrey. Because your life will never be the same. I believe that he will be, I want to say 62, right? Let's see. '62, '64. 62 years old by the time he gets out of jail. Good luck, Geoffrey. This was a victory for Kristen. When everybody said that she was lying, she had a prosecuting attorney who said, we're going to take the case and we're going to fight on your behalf. Thank you so much, Miss Old Soul, for the $20 super chat. He needs to trade a look at those. He needs to trade a look at those nipple tats for a haircut. LOL flush. I don't know what that just meant, but I'm sure the rest of you all do. Thank you so much, Miss Old Soul, for the $20 super chat. Anyway, y'all, I'm happy today. I'm very happy to see that smile, that dirty smirk, wash off his face. To all those who said that Kristen couldn't do it, she did it. She did it. And she represents all of us who have ever experienced DV. A win for one woman is a win for all of us. Congratulations, Kristen. Job well done. I love you all to pieces. Thank you so much for being here. Let me know down in the comment section what you think. Have a great night, everybody. Bye-bye.